Do not check your dial. We
So I gotta tell you, this is the most unbelievable thing in the world. When the intro music started, he put his hands up in the air like he knew the bugle was coming, and right before it started, he went and I was like, "Oh man,
so great."
yeah, very cool."
Good morning, everybody. We are back. We had a spectacular trip to Pittsburgh. Rate the city for me.
Oh, it's up there. It is way up there for me. It has a big city feel, but is not a big city, so it's not overcrowded. It's not hard to get around. Beautiful architecture, and the quality of the people in Pittsburgh is phenomenal. You get that Midwestern feel where you feel very welcome, and everybody feels very nice. And it was awesome. It's way up there. I would give it an 8-7 on a ranking of cities.
So right on cue. Thank you, Laurie. It was what a wonderful host you were. It was great seeing you, spending a little time with you, and from all of us at On the Ball, thanks for all you do.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I mean, and the quality. So I spoke to the Institute for Entrepreneurial Excellence, which is connected to the University of Pittsburgh, and the way they go about bringing in a speaker and hosting them for dinner with a small section of the group the night before at a fantastic restaurant, which was 11. And then the next day just getting set up and getting to network with the people before, and the setup of the presentation, it was really just phenomenal.
And for me, just speaking as a proud dad, it was a family trip, man. It was super cool to get on a plane and spend 48 hours together just being with each other. And I think there's a lesson learned there that community and all that kind of stuff. When you spend time with good people, good things happen. I felt like we shared a bunch about the business, and it wasn't like, all right, the clock is ticking, let's do it in the next 30 minutes. It was like, hey, we're going to be together. The conversation just flowed. Jonathan Aaron,
quality time. It was quality time.
Speaking to our
yeah. Yeah. I mean, the two of you walking around the city with the two of you is always fun. But Les Gusky asked, did we have any pierogies? Did not have any pierogies while we were there.
Close.
but had plenty of sausage and peppers and sandwiches. I mean, we had every sandwich you could possibly have. The last day that we were there, Mark Berger took us to a place called Mike's Beer Bar, where they have 500 beers on selection.
Local beers.
Local beer. Well, 300 of the beers are local. And unbelievable food. I mean, great bar food. Wings. We had pork nachos that were fantastic, but we had a sandwich that was called Beans and Greens, which was white beans mashed up with collards and broccolini, mixed in with sausage, all on a piece of sourdough toasted. It was absolutely phenomenal. We stopped by Primanti Brothers because we wanted to get a slice of pizza in the downtown one, and they only do pizza in the suburbs locations. They don't do pizza in any of the downtown locations, which really
was
funny.
A wah moment. But we'll talk more specifically about Mark's what is the topic of his speech was, but I am in total agreement that you are a great speaker. Engagement was off the charts. The gentleman sitting next to me leaned in and said, he's a really good public speaker.
Oh, you mean Ned Ryerson?
So the guy sitting next to me looked exactly like the actor in Groundhog's Day. But here's what was really special. The conversation that we try and have with people, and I do call it a conversation, is that there is a better way. You learned it, you took what I gave you, you learned it, and now you're, spitting it back from you, not my, you didn't take my stuff and just do it. You just,
Right.
so watching that transformation, watching your growth from TED Talk to now, very insightful, very paced driven, like, and it was, you were up there for 2+ hours. And I think people would have spent the day with you. So
Yeah, I think they would have gone longer if I didn't cut it off. I was like, guys, I gotta go now.
we gotta go, man. We gotta do lunch. We gotta do whatever. But just an awesome job. You get to do it again at Florida State next week.
Get to do it again at Florida State on Wednesday at the Real Estate Schools Trends Conference, which is going to be a blast. So I'll be talking about high performance habits of business people there. And on Saturday, I'm speaking to the APA in Delray. So lots of speaking going on. And then today we've got the GOTB accountability call. And then this afternoon, I'm with the Take Stock people for our final session. So lots and lots of people getting 1% better.
Session 3 in my LinkedIn accelerator. We continue to get very high marks. Asking, and it's learning this new tool is so special. We'll talk more about it as we get going. Shay, great to be back. Wake this thing up and let's roll. So, just so that everybody knows, don't freak out. Today, at 2:20, every phone, every radio, everything around us, there will be a test of the emergency alert system. And guess what? You don't have to do shit.
Well, so I thought about this for a minute, and I was like, well, when you go back to school, right? Like you practice the fire alarm, you
Right.
practice the tornado drill, you practice whatever the actual event is that's happening. They're practicing an alert for everybody for an emergency, yet we have no idea what to do when we get the alert.
Right.
Like I got nothing. So,
just want to make sure this works.
Right.
Well, it's actually better because I don't know if you guys remember the last time I went through. It was at like 2:00 in the morning.
And everybody pissed. Yeah.
They woke everybody up in the middle of the night.
Right.
But like, okay, so you're giving me a test. You're testing the alert system. You're going to alert me of a natural disaster. You're going to alert me of something happening, an asteroid coming to the world, coming towards Earth. But I don't know what to do. Like, how come we don't have any training about what we're supposed to do when we get this alert? Like, go into your house or find the nearest, like, is there a shelter that we're supposed to seek somewhere based on where we are geographically? Like, what the hell kind of planning is going on around
here? Make sure that whatever we have to say, we're making sure you have a way to hear it. That's
right.
No practice involved, no nothing. Shay, I am curious about Joy Linsky. She's joining us with YouTube, and people who are watching on YouTube say it's a wonderful experience. It's meant for podcasting, but she says her comments are not enabled on LinkedIn anymore.
Yeah, same thing with Lou. I did a little bit of research, but really couldn't find anything. So I'm gonna send them another link that could be it.
Interesting.
Yeah, feels strange, but hopefully we
Jonathan
figure
Aaron
that
said,
out.
hide under your desk like the Cold War drills.
Well, I was going to say, right? Remember, like that's going to do something. Hide under your desk.
Right.
This will protect you when the bombs hit.
This little thin piece of wood that's gonna, so you'll be fine. You'll be good.
Incredible, incredible. So I picked very special motivational music this morning because I don't know about you, but I know that Mark spoke about it on stage. The way people are doing things in terms of trying to create new business is just bad.
Know your game, what you're about. When they say the sky's the limit, and to me this feels true. My friend, you have seen nothing. There's a way to argue because I'm bad. I'm bad. You're more. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You're more. You know. And the whole world has to answer right now to tell you once again who's bad.
All right. So, Mark, you got up on stage and you went through, you asked a question. The question was, well, you go for it. You know the question.
I asked everybody, I said, what's the number one activity you get asked to do when you enter into sales? And so the first person said, sell, sell, sell. And I was like, exactly. People are asking you to sell, but how are they asking you to go about doing that? What's the activity they're asking you to do? And everybody said, call. You know, everybody's got to call. You got to make your cold calls. You got to hit your cold calls. It's all about calling. And so then I asked everybody, so how many of you in this room are open to starting a new relationship through an introductory phone call? Nobody raises their hand. Nobody. Nobody. So I said, okay, so let me get this straight, right? We all agree that the number one activity we're focusing on to develop new business is to call people, yet nobody in this room is willing to answer a call for the first time. What are we doing? How is this what we think is gonna work?
So, you know, it was just great because I think there was that like inflection point where people go, okay.
Right, okay, right.
So you shared a couple of examples. I'm going to share a couple of examples that happened to me. I'm sure they're happening to you. Shay, I don't know in what order you have them, but I love this. This guy helps business achieve digital transformation. And he's like, I hope you don't mind me reaching out. Like you know, why would you start that way?
Right.
You know, and we have a powerful done for you appointment setting service. He's not going to get an appointment with me. So proof of concept goes out the window.
Yeah, 1000%. And I think, you know, what I talked about yesterday and what we continue to talk about is if you're trying to build a relationship with somebody, the number one thing that makes you likable is your ability to listen. And so if in your outreach, you're making it about yourself and not about them, you're not listening, you're not trying to listen. So there's no way to really convey that. So if it's not a phone call, right? Good. These people are using LinkedIn. Good. They're using the tool. They're using the tool in a horrendous way. So it's still not going to work for them the way that it should or could because of how they're choosing to enter into that first step.
And I would say 90% of my inbox in LinkedIn is filled with this garbage.
Well, I would say that 99% of my inbox is either a spam cold pitch or blank, nothing, right? So like 99% of it is wrong.
So here's another one. Is everything okay? Okay. You know, that's us. See, all about us. Look at us.
Ever felt like you're stuck in the wild winds of marketing? Imagine a team swooping right in, like the drama of this. Like, first of all, a lot of this feels like it's AI driven, right? Like there is somebody like they're putting in like, hey, create a dramatic entrance into dealing with the problems of the marketing world, which bypasses the most important part of business development, which is connecting with the person first. You cannot solve somebody's problem until they trust you to solve it. And they're not going to trust you to solve it by entering in with the solution.
Or if they actually have that problem. You know, like, we don't have that problem. I'm not looking for you to solve something that I don't have. So this is not in any of the content because I found it late last night. But LinkedIn selling, the
Yep.
gurus at LinkedIn sent me an article that says 9 ways top sellers are making their prospecting stand out. So
Yep.
this is supposed to be the oracle, the place, right? The number one thing, the phone isn't dead. The key is research and structure. So here, LinkedIn, which is absolutely the greatest tool used right. It is by far the gift to all of us. They're telling you that the number one prospecting, the phone isn't dead. The key is research. He says a lot of sales reps hide behind email. Don't get me wrong, email is important, but if you really want to stand out, you got to use the phone to cold call. Cold call. If you ask those people in that audience, 80 entrepreneurs, would you
0%.
would you be willing to accept a cold call? Nope, nope, not willing
You
to
didn't get one. Not one hand went up. So you're going 0 for 80 in that group if you're talking about being on the phone first. It's unbelievable.
So we know this is bad. I mean, every day I get people who say, looks like you have a pretty good history in business, like you've been successful. Interested in owning your own business?
Right. No research.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely no
So,
research.
while when there's bad, there's always good. And the way you laid out good yesterday was so tremendous, really, really fantastic. So I want to point out there is a better way. There is modern business development. The people that are taking my pod, the people that are taking your pod are learning this. Mark, break it down.
Yeah, so we've traditionally been focused on either the sales funnel or the marketing funnel, and they each had their key metrics of success. And I think when you really talk about business development as a whole and you take responsibility for all of it, the metrics that you can really focus on that lead to success is how many people's attention every day are you getting? Of that attention, how much engagement comes from it? How many people do something with that attention that you got from them? Did they respond? Did they watch a video? Did they like a post? Did they comment on a post? Did they like something that you said? How did they engage with it? Off of that engagement, how many conversations are you having? Of those conversations, how many relationships are you developing? Out of those relationships, how many opportunities are being presented? And then finally, you get to the point where there are some new revenue dollars, because if you've got enough opportunities out there in front of people, the right people will say yes, and you will get to revenue. But everybody's focused on the very bottom. Everybody's focused on the revenue number, or everybody's focused on a tactic that we don't even include inside of that funnel, which is calling still. And there's nothing wrong with the phone, right? Like, I don't want people to think that we're telling you not to talk on the phone to people. What I'm telling you is every study that I look at, and I trust McKinsey Institute to talk about this, 82% of people who receive phone calls immediately block the number after they get it, meaning you have lost all opportunity to communicate with that person ever again. So if you know that in a room full of 80 entrepreneurs, 80 business owners, leaders, revenue generating people that are in that room, 80 people, not one raised their hand. And as you're listening to this going, okay, do I answer the phone for a cold call? How do I feel about it when I get one? If you know that doesn't make you feel good, why would you choose to do it as your number one driver of business development? And the other thing I ask people is, what's the goal of business development? What's the goal of sales? What's the difference between the two? Everybody unanimously goes, oh, business development is about relationship. Sales is about transaction. You need to do biz dev first. You need to be doing biz dev every day. Yet you're using a tactic that doesn't lead you to relationship. Makes no sense. The system's fucking broken.
So let's talk about the exercise that you did from the stage. 80 people, randomly you picked out a guy.
I picked out a guy who happened to be named Mark. Right? Like, it worked out even
What's your name, sir? Like, I love this. When you're from the stage, you always pick the person who's like like looking the wrong way. Don't pick me. Don't pick me.
Right.
Holy shit! Bang, Mark, you right there. You,
Yeah.
Who, me? Right.
And I asked him a very simple question, which was, what's one thing that everybody in the room should know about you? And he said, that's a good question. And he said, I'm a hack guitarist. And I said, really? When did you learn to play guitar? How'd you get started with that? Are you in a band? What kind of music does your band play? Southern rock. I said, so would it be safe to say you play Leonard Skinner? He goes, a lot of Leonard Skinner. I said, so maybe I could get you to play, That Smell for me at some point. And he goes, oh, absolutely. That was an interaction for at most 90 seconds, right? I asked him immediately. I said, Mark, if I asked you to go grab coffee with me down the street after this presentation to talk about Leonard Skinner and your bands, would you go with me? And he said, yes, absolutely. I said, Mark, how much do you know about me? He said, nothing. I said, exactly. I may take you to the coffee shop and bag you and kidnap you, and you got no idea, but you trust me now. Why do you trust me? Because I made it all about him. I figured out what was important to him. What was the one thing that he would want everybody to know? And then I dove into that. Tell me more about that. And I found a commonality in it that him and I, wouldn't you know that now after that presentation, him and I are going to have a conversation about training his organization.
Yeah, I mean, and that was an interesting takeaway. I think everybody in the audience watched it happen. Everybody that knew Mark now knows him better. So it's even the people right next to you, people that work for you. You don't know a fucking thing about them. You're just going about, oh, you're from Boston? I'm from Boston. Oh my God, I didn't know that. So
I love Eddie Dyke's question when he gets a cold call. He says, the quick question guy, he goes, quick answer, no.
It's crazy, right? No, not interesting.
Quick question, quick answer, no.
So it's interesting because I use this analogy and I stand by it. There is a better way, and it's very much like breathing. Like we all know how to breathe. We do it naturally. That's the way it's always been done. But if I told you there's a better way to breathe, it's faster, it's more efficient, it's fun, it's healthier, it's all of these things, you still need to make the decision in your mind to not breathe the way you know how to breathe now, even though it's not, you're breathing in all the toxins and you're getting COVID and you're getting all this shit, all the negative. You still got to make the choice to do something different. And I love the way you started the whole engagement. And you used an analogy, I've heard it before, but the cup of tea, which was amazing. It was like, listen, if you have no capacity to take on new information and to actually implement it, get the fuck out of here.
I actually did tell everybody, like, it's okay to leave. Like, if you don't want to go on this journey with us, it's okay to leave now.
It was so incredible. It was like, it was really good. And I will tell you, I think the hardest thing in my life is to sit there and not cheer and get involved and say something. So you did allow me to say one thing, which I appreciated, but super proud, super great. You are a shining example of doing the work. What you've done in 3 years takes people 30 years. So, but what the proof is in the pudding, you can do it. Jonathan Aaron said, you can't take new technology and use old thinking to do it. So if you are not doing it, it's there. Thank you to the people that are joining me. Your cohort is almost filled, I think.
If you want to try to get into my cohort, or maybe I'll start a new one depending on what's happening, because this one's about to start and I'm solidifying the dates. If you are interested in learning about LinkedIn, reach out to me immediately. Do not waste any time, because otherwise you're going to miss your window for this month. Or reach out and just have the conversation with us, because there's always a way to help you get better. If you're looking for this particular cohort, its clock is ticking. But if you just want to learn more, if you're just interested and you want to hear a little bit more, just reach out, because the information is here. We want you to have it. We want you to be able to use it. I told everybody yesterday, LinkedIn is no longer a luxury. LinkedIn is a necessity to help you grow your business. And if you wait too long, you're going to miss the opportunity to really take advantage of it at the right time.
Awesome job. Great content, 2.5 hours plus. great city, great friends, Mark Berger, Craig Nuzzo, Lori and Andy Kuznetsky. You're around good people, good things happen. Jake and me and Mark, thank you for joining us every morning here on the Daily Huddle. Go out, make a difference, ask somebody the question. What's the question? What's one thing I should know about you, man? You'll see how it works, man.
Let's have a great day. Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business.